Yo! Afternoon. You want to do me a favor? How's the guitar sound? Can you hear it plugged in? Doing a mobile show, dude. It sounds unplugged? Ooh, okay. Let's see if I can fix that. Is there settings for that? Uh-oh. We might have to do something else. Yeah, I have my amp plugged into the camera. Am I in a different room? No, I'm, the internet's down, so I'm using my cell phone. All right, so if this isn't working. Yeah, if it doesn't sound plugged in, I'll have to go to a different room. The good news is since we're already live, I'll just plug in when I'm there. All right, everybody. Yeah, but if you couldn't hear the guitar plugged in, then yeah, I wonder why there's not a setting for that. Oh well. We'll have to come back to this later. Well, it looks like you guys are gonna come with me, and I'm gonna go into a different room. So hold on. We'll unplug that. Oh wait, let me try one more thing. Actually, hold on. What if I do this? What about now? Can you hear it? Can you hear this? Hold on a second. We're troubleshooting live. Can you hear this? Can you hear a distortion? Really? Nothing? All right. Well, we're going to have to go back to a different room. That's so weird how you can't pick your audio. Oh, well. Maybe there's a way we could fix it, but not right now. Yeah, I found out my internet was down about 20 minutes before the show. And I was like, uh-oh. So you guys are coming with me. So hold on. We're going to take this off. And then I'm going to... oh, I know what to do. I'm going to get some tape. There we go. All right, everybody. You're not going to be able to see anything for a second. You're unplugged. While I move some stuff. All right, so I'm taking the power cord with me. Luckily, I have a separate room. There's a backup. First says, what's this other page you have? What's the name of that page? You mean my channel? I have a second channel called Patrick Gnarly and Company where I play video games and stuff. So you guys are more than welcome to check that out. But I'm going to a different room. Hold on. I like how you can see the light changing a little bit. That's pretty funny. Move some fans around. All right. Now we're in a different room. I know I'm describing this to you instead of letting you see, but there's no reason for you to see any other parts of my house. I turned on a light. Turn that fan down. All right, give me another second, everybody. Hold on. We're almost there. Should be able to see just fine here. Whoop! All right. Can I tighten this? Is that a possibility? Nope, I guess not. All right, well. All right, so I'm going to get this charged up. And then we're good to go. All right, give me one more second, everybody. Sorry we started. I just didn't realize that it was going to have issues with the audio. You can't test something until you plug it in, you know? Okay, where we got the power outlet? Pocket dial. I'm not pocket dialing. I'm trying to fix something. Leave me alone! Alright. I could have said no show tonight. I said, no, I can't do that. There we go, finally. I can plug this in and we're good to go. Close that window. Ooh. And we should be good to go. Okay. Perfect. All right, so we're going to be plugged into an amp. You'll see what an amp sounds like. And then my bedroom rig, which is really nothing. It's just an amp and a guitar. All right. Here goes nothing. Now let's take this off. Ooh. Sorry about that wait, everybody. Just had to make sure we got everything looking good. At least as good as we could get it. You know what I mean? All right, well, we're back. Sorry, it's going to be kind of a low-budget show. It's going to be us hanging out. Sorry about that rough start. We just had to do what we could. So, we'll see. Yeah, the Les Paul Custom, yeah. I don't like to play it on the show because people always Google, ooh, ah, ooh. That's why I had to take it off the show. Every time I used it, people just freaked out. And I was just like, you guys, relax. Well, if you guys got any questions, if you want to chat, want to talk, you guys are more than welcome to. Can I add text to this? Dude, this is such a bad... this is such a bad setting. God damn, dude. There's really nothing? This is so weird. You can't add text, anything? Can I look at the settings? Yeah, that's it. Dude. No wonder everybody just uses OBS and stuff for this. This is terrible. Spiderline 6. Kind of sounds like that at low volume, I guess. Well, yeah, let's chat. Let's talk. I was gonna say, if you guys are just joining us, who's all in here? Who's patient enough? Who's having a good time? Man, this is weird. Not having a green screen is so bizarre to me. I don't like it. We got David Chips, we got Skit, we got Fish. Yeah, the camera angles are bad. Everything's bad, dude. It sucks. Well, I'm doing fine, but I'll tell you what. We got to figure out something to do, man. We cannot have a show and be boring, you know what I mean? Well, how's the audio sound at least? Is it okay? Fish says, make a song based on what chat says. Maybe later. Not right now. I'm just trying to make sure everybody knows what's going on. So, I love how you can hear the strings and the amp. Oh, you can hear both? Probably because the guitar is so close to the actual microphone. And the amp is like kind of over here. Well, thank you so much, Cheese. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, I only have the one guitar, too, so if there's anything in an alternate tuning, I won't be able to do it. Well, yeah, I was working on videos today, so thankfully I got all those done. So I was really happy about that. For those of you who don't know, I was making some videos of me playing music and talking about music and things like that. So I got everything I wanted to get done today done. So that's been really nice. But yeah, we just can't do a full show tonight. Sorry. It's kind of like I'm on the road. If I was on tour right now, this is pretty much how it would be. I'd probably have a laptop and some cameras and stuff like that. That's how I would probably do it. But other than that, I guess we can't do everything. But I'm still shocked you can't like tap the screen and add text. Like, why not? Why can't I add text? That makes no sense. You know what I mean? What's up with that? What is this, a game? What is this thing? Emojis? Playables. Choose a game to stream with? Who the fuck wants to do that, YouTube? Good gore. Good. Yeah, why would I want to play a game? That's so weird. Blake says, on tour, would you do just acoustic stream? Maybe. Probably not. Like I said, I'd probably have a keyboard or something plugged in, like a keyboard. I'd probably have a computer, like a laptop plugged in with all my settings, and just have it like plugged in and ready to go. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want it to be just acoustic, so. Skid says, I'm drinking and smoking and lifting weights. Dude, that is so cool. Whoa, dude, that's cool. Whoa, dude. How long have you been 21? Or how long have you been divorced? I don't know what we're supposed to do with that information. 28, party? What does that mean? You're partying right now, dude? Whoa. Dude, everybody in the chat, gotta love this guy. We got a party animal here. I totally believe that. Rhett sent a $10 donation saying, for the case, stay gnarly. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Wow, they'll show up a little better on here, though. I'll tell you that. We never get to do the stream as you guys, because this is how you guys see the chat. I don't see the chat like this. There's just like a big blank space right here on my screen. And then off to the right, there's another screen that shows all the chat. That way, everything everybody says for like the past minute or so shows up. So it's been pretty cool. Yeah. Viv says, I love your song Featherweight. Thank you. Dude, I was just talking about that. I made a video talking about how I don't get it. Like, so many people request that song on here, which is awesome. But off the stream, I'm not going to say 2,000 streams is not a lot, because it's an enjoyable amount. But, like, it does. I think I've played the song more times on stream than I have on Spotify and stuff. Crazy. That is bizarre. Amanda sent $1. Thank you so much, Amanda. Oh, that was embarrassing. I appreciate that. Dude, you know what's funny? I play this guitar up in the other room because the frets are so small. It is the tiniest frets on any of my guitars. Les Paul Customs are known for having small frets too. And they're even more worn down. So playing this is always like a little bit of a challenge, but it's like, it's totally fine. But still, very funny. David sent a $5 donation. Thank you so much, David. Can we get some parties in the chat? Party, dude. That is so funny. Somebody said featherweight, though? Let me turn the volume down on this. I don't have my acoustics upstairs, but... And I know you always speak softly. And I know you always include me. There you go, a little bit of some featherweight for you. Yeah. I mean, I wish I could do more requests. I don't like to play the songs without the backing tracks, the drums and stuff. Because amazingly, when you learn songs, you get cues from the drums of like, oh my, okay, I have to change from the chorus to the verse, from verse to the chorus, things like that. So when you're learning songs, you kind of have audio cues. But like when you don't have them, you do have to practice it alone. So it's really interesting how that works. But there's plenty of songs that I know how to play just like without those. Just depends on how you practice them. So it'd be nice if you guys could see my hand, like while I'm playing. Let me see if I can move the guitar a little bit. Well, I'll tell you what. If you guys want to talk about music or talk about the video games, speaking of video games, I just brought it up. We're going to be finishing Fallout 3 on my other channel. So if you haven't voted yet and you're on the Patreon, make sure you vote. Because we're going to be deciding what next game we're going to play. So that'll be interesting. Anybody got a song they want to hear a little bit of? Or maybe I'll play the whole thing. It's gonna be a little different. It just depends on what you guys want to hear. Rooster? I don't have the tuning for that. That's also a long ass song, dude. Let's see, whatever we got. Brain Stew, Finals, Featherweight. We just played a little Featherweight. I'll tell you what. How about I think of a song we can play right now, and then see what we can do. How about we do either Say It Ain't So, or we could play, let's see here. Get By might be pretty good too. What do you guys think? Between those two. Say It Ain't So or Get By. Say It Ain't So, says Fish. Get By, says David. All right, we got 2 for Get By. Get out of the city. Wanna live by the bay. Wanna get a good job that pays well. I wanna get laid. I wanna get by. Let's add some distortion. Wanna get by. Get by. This is why you have to get a foot pedal. Hitting that, if you miss it, dude, you're screwed. Evie says, can you play anything by Nirvana? I'm 13 and obsessed with them. Well, I know a ton of Nirvana. Usually on our show we have like a whole bunch of stuff we can play. Depends. I know a bunch. Oh, this kid's a liar. He's like, I'm 14, my B. Yeah, don't tell people your age, dude. Yeah, make sure you don't tell your age online, man. You don't want to do that because people are just weirdos out there. There's tons of people out there that are trying to find anybody that's young because you're an easy target, man. Don't paint yourself as an easy target. Here, I'll make it easy for you. Hold on. Here we go. Yeah, there we go. Well, either way, I can play some Nirvana. Somebody said, Come As You Are. Well, I don't have the guitar for that tuning, but you guys can play a little bit of it. Come as you are, as you were, as I want you to be. As a friend, as I know them to be. There you go, a little bit of Nirvana for you. Yeah, enjoy that. Any other brain busters? Any other crazy songs you guys want to hear? Usually we play the whole song, but yeah, like I said, the internet's down. David Chip says rock version of The Living Dead. That's not a bad idea. I once was happy. That's not true. I long to be somewhere close to you. Ooh, that's so cliche. Ooh, no more candles on the cake. 'Cause I am living dead. 'Cause I am living dead. I once was someone close to you. Now I'm no one, nothing new. More candles on the cake. They're after me. I am living dead. I am living dead. Lando says, sounds like if should be in Call of Duty's theme song. Oh, because the title's Living Dead? Whoa. Whoa, what a connection, man. That's a crazy observation. That's a good bit. Well, yeah, that was a song called Living Dead. It's a song from my band Finals. Yeah, this is gonna be a weird show tonight, I can tell. Well, this will probably be one of the last times we play it on the show, just because I keep it in a different room. Because people always talk about it. I'm not going to sell it, but part of my brain's like, maybe I should sell it. You know what I mean? Because I'm not a big Gibson guy. So I don't want people to think I really like Gibson. But I like these guitars. I like Les Pauls, but the person who sold this to me made me promise, because they gave me a hell of a deal. They said, don't sell that. I don't want to see that right after this. I was like, I won't. Anything else you guys want to hear? We could probably just do riffs and whatever we want. Here, let me move this fan real quick. It's getting hot in here, man. There we go. Let me know if the fan's too loud. Man, I'll tell you what, too. Playing up here, not my favorite thing in the world, just because, I mean, for many reasons. The camera, the audio, the lighting. Man, I'll tell you what. You don't know what you got until it's gone. I'll tell you that much. You guys still there? Man, that's weird. I can't chat either. Oh, I can pin a message. Oh, interesting. Let's see here. Let's see. Blake, can you do me a favor? Can you write a message in the chat that says, "Ask me anything"? We'll get some crazy questions, but I still don't know why I can't just type that in. Hell, I could just get a pen and paper, but... Two Cat says, I think Blake left the cup a few minutes ago. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Can we get Two Cat? Would you like to do it, or Rhett? Just the phrase "ask me anything." I appreciate that. Thank you. No, just ask me anything, because I want to be able to pin it. There we go. Thank you, Rhett. Can we get some thumbs up for Rhett? Thank you, buddy. Pin message. All right. Message pinned. I don't see it pinned. Oh, I guess it's pinned down there. That's weird. Why not up here? Oh, dude, YouTube is so... Dude, if I ran YouTube, I would just be like, dude, we're doing everything wrong with the live stream. Like, not a joke. They need to copy and paste TikTok's, like, ideas. Not everything, but nearly everything. That way, when you get to a live stream, it's familiar, because most people see that. So, yeah, they got to fix that. Why is it down there? Two Cat says, oh yeah, they changed that recently? They changed what? Well, hold on, let me get some lighting. Oh, we'll get some better looking stuff. Oh, I have a camera. Hold on. Let me put this up. Oh, I have to unplug this. I guess I can figure this out. Nah, I should have done that before. I can't figure that out right away. All right, let me see if I can get something on my computer here, though. Oh, I got an idea. Notepad. I'll open Notepad up. Big white screen. There we go. See the better lighting. This guy got some lighting, man. Oh, maybe. Oh, I can't write. That's right. Why would I? Oh, I know what I can do. Hold on. We're going to cheese this. I'm going to open it up on YouTube, and I'm going to get a chat message from me, and then I'm going to highlight it. There we go. Thinking outside the box, man. There we go. Oh, am I fucking stupid, dude? I forgot the internet's down. I am stupid. All right. I was like, why is it taking so long to open? That's why. Man, that would have been embarrassing. Well, at least we'll know the moment the internet comes back up. No, there's no hotspot right now. I mean, there is, but if I do that, I'm sure it'll cut the live. I'm sure of it. So we'll just have to wait on it. There's nothing I can do about it. So, yeah, I still don't know why I can't just chat. Why not? Because I can do that on YouTube, on the computer. That is so stupid. What is this? Pin to live stream. Tag products. Why would you? What are you, stupid? Oh my god. I don't get a keyboard. Nothing. Come on, man. What else we got here? Green screen. Oh, okay. Is the background green? Can you guys see that? Interesting. All right, well, we can't do that right now. Can I turn it off? There we go. Why would they do... Oh, my God. YouTube is so stupid, dude, for that. Why do they do that? I missed my computer! Somebody bring my internet back! Oh, my God, dude. Well, not sure what to do with that. What's this? What's this button do? Choose a sticker. Oh! There's a... Of course, there's a sticker. Q&A. Ask me anything. Answers will appear as chat messages. Okay, I guess that works. Okay, well, I guess I got something. Oh, it's... Of course it's in the fucking way. Dude, really good job, Google. Wow, this is very smart. Can we get some very smarts in the chat? That is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I have to... it's in the way. At least it'll be in the chat. They can't make it see-through at all? The dumbest thing, dude. Oh my god. Dano says, have you heard of a Maserati? Yes, I have. I have a knockoff version of it from Harley Benton that's pretty good. Dan, have you ever heard of being patient in your life? Kent. Yeah, man. What are you, fucking Jamaican? How about you Jamaican your way out of my fucking chat? Get out of here, you nerd. There we go. Ryan, thank you for the high five. Well, we'll find out. We got more questions. Oh, I got an idea. Let's give you a topic. All right. How about this? How about we do a topic? We'll do a time period. We'll do a time period. How about high school? We'll do high school questions. Let's see. Wednesday says, "Do you know what's nice? YouTube was smart enough to have this big giant bar on the side of my screen of things I can do, and it covers up part of the chat. YouTube. It's almost like they don't want people to use this." All right, Wednesday says, "Do you have any tutorials for featherweight?" Yes, I do. On my Patreon. The lowest tier is $1. Or "Can I walk you home?" I can do that on there too as well. I really want to learn that, but I can't find tabs or chords. Well, that's because I'm an independent artist, and those songs are actually not as big. It's only got 2,000 plays on Spotify, so they're not big songs. But it is the tabs are on my my Patreon. They are there for sure. Brand says, "Can you play the start of Buried by Avenged Sevenfold?" Yes, I can. Here, I got you, buddy. I don't remember how to play the whole solo. Two Cat says, "How's the new guitar?" Good question. I really like it. I bought that IYV guitar, which I'm going to say what it is now because I want you guys to avoid it. That thing was such a hunk of junk. That thing was such a piece of shit. Oh my god, that guitar was awful. Brandon says, $5, amazing. What a good sport. What a good sport. That's awesome. Anyways, thank you, appreciate that. But the new guitar I got, it's a Harley Benton Mosrite copy. It's like a Univox High Flyer, but it's more like Mosrite. It's really well made. The IYV I bought, that was a hunk of junk. That thing was terrible, dude. It was like $170 something. I got it for like $120. The IYV, it's terrible. I don't recommend it. If you are looking for a Mosrite or like a Univox style guitar, do not buy that. It sucks. It is terrible. It was really poorly made. For $100 too, like, you get what you pay for, but for $200 that I spent on the Harley Benton, way better. Way better. Highly recommend that thing. The frets are great, the neck is great, it has locking tuners. The humbuckers are nice and thick sounding, but they're not like muddy. Because humbuckers can sound terrible. They really can. They sound fine. And then it has a coil tap, so it's basically two guitars in one. Dude, I was watching a review from somebody. I think it was 60 Cycle Hum, which I don't really watch, but dude, he undersold it. He said he really liked it, but like, his review was like 30 minutes, and he didn't even cover half the stuff. Oh, it's horrible. Rhett says, "Is your Harley Benton a baritone?" It's standard scale. I thought it was a baritone just because the way it felt, but no, it's just a standard scale. It's like a Fender scale, like 25.5. But it's kind of misleading because the body's a little bit wide. It feels like it needs that tremolo on it. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, this is the guitar thing where sometimes there's a big blank space there if they make a hardtail version of it. So bottom line is the guitar is longer than it should be. should, in quotes. And so it feels like a baritone, but it's not. It's just a regular one. Connie says, what do you think of Slipknot? Dude, Slipknot's great. I don't honestly think they put out a good album after volume, what is it, 4? Subliminal Verses? Was that the 4th album or 3rd album? I don't think they put out anything good since then, but then again, I haven't really been paying attention. But everything before that, 1st album, 2nd album, 3rd album, great records. Really enjoy them. But yeah, I think the last single I heard from them was Psychosocial, and I was like, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. All right. It's pretty okay. Also, can we get some taps on the screen? This format is so weird. Doing it like this, I'll never do this again. If the internet goes out, I'll just shut her down, man. This whole, like, the no background, the audio, the visual, dude, this is not designed for mobile. This is 100% designed for a computer. I could see why they're like, yeah, it's really bad. Oh, man. But that being said, I'm glad we're doing it right now because we got to know. Sometimes you just don't know. So. Franco says, hey, what acoustic guitar did you use to record with your Unplugged album? I'm obsessed with the sound. Honestly, I'm going to tell you something. You don't like the sound. You're saying that, but you don't. And I'll tell you why. Because the acoustic guitars that I use are the same guitars I use on the show. And if you can't kind of tell for yourself which is which, then honestly, I don't think it matters. If you find any acoustic you like, it'll sound just as good. Trust me. It's the songs. You like the songs. Trust me. The writing's there. It's not the tone. That's like saying, hey, Michelangelo, not that I'm Michelangelo, but Michelangelo, what paint did you use to paint the Sistine Chapel? You know what I mean? He's like, I don't know, just paint, whatever I had. It's not the paint. It's not the guitar. It's the writing. If you want to get a good sound, get a guitar that you like. You know what I mean? Get a guitar that plays well for you. And you will play better. And then you will write stuff more. And then as you write stuff more, you'll write songs that people go, hey, what guitar did you use? That's what you should do. But if you want my advice on what guitar that I used, try to get out there and find a guitar that you like. I recommend Yamahas for under $500. I always talk about that. Seagull for under $1,000, right around $500 to $1,000. Seagulls are great. I mean, there's so many. Yamahas are still good too in that price range. I think the Seagulls are a bit better. But yeah, you want to focus on what you like. Go out there, go see some stuff. Solid tops on the acoustics. Always recommend it. Because, yeah, tone chasing, me and Blake get in an argument about this sometimes. So tone chasing, for those of you who don't know, who don't play guitar, there's a psychosomatic. It's like your mind makes it real. Now, objectively speaking, you might like how it sounds, sure. But there's hundreds and thousands of guitars that sound just as good, but people just don't play them as much. So you just have to find what you like and then do that. Because if you're tone chasing, you're trying to find Eddie Van Halen's tone or Jimmy Page's tone or blah, blah, blah. Trust me, they've used hundreds of guitars, hundreds of different amps, hundreds of different effects. One guitar is not going to sound exactly the same as theirs. It's just not. So try to get that out of your head. I know it's easy to do that, but just try to get that out of your head. Find something you like. I didn't like Les Paul Customs, for example. I always felt they had really big necks and they were really chunky and stupid. But I found this one, and I really liked this one. My buddy sold it to me for like nothing. He sold me for like nothing. And I was like, cool, sick. And I mean, I still don't like Les Paul Customs, but I like this guitar. So try and find something you like. You know what I mean? Because you'll want to play it more. So I understand that you like my guitars on that album, but I'm going to give you a secret. I don't. I use what I have. If I could go back and re-record the albums with something else, I would. And it's not because my guitar is bad. It's just they're worn out. I've been using them for years. So like my Seagull acoustic, I've had for over 20 years. I got to get things repaired on that. It's a great guitar. I recommend it. But if I could get it repaired and then do it again, I would. If I could get it, the other guitar, my Breedlove, I get that repaired, or at least get a different model of it, I would. So when you ask me, what did I use on that? I'm not going to tell you. Because I don't want you to buy the stuff that I have. I want you to buy something you like. Does that make sense? Yeah, so that'll probably help you out. Because it doesn't matter. Like, you've heard so many acoustic guitars, so many electric guitars, so many different amps and recordings. Like, the artists that you know, like I was watching an interview with Weezer today, just happened to popping up. And I was like watching it, and he was like, yeah, I really liked using my neck pickup on, you know, on the recordings and stuff. And then when we had the band go, it just didn't sound like good. It sounded great in my garage, but like playing it on the record, the guy that was recording us, he was like, no, man, you should try this guitar. Try recording with this. Try recording with this. And then eventually he relented. He's like, he's right. This thing sounds great. And it's because what you record with is not always what you play with. I mean, I have to do that sometimes because it's obviously what I have. But sometimes you play on a record and you're like, I would never use this guitar live like this. For some reason, you know, whether it's unreliable, maybe it's not the best feeling, maybe you didn't write it on it. But sometimes it just feels right. You just got to do what you got to do. So, any other questions? Anybody out there who's listening? Franco says, oh, thanks, Pat. I personally use an Ibanez Talman, and I love it. Appreciate the advice. Well, if you like that guitar, go for it, man. I've played those. I'm going to be real with you, man. Maybe you should find a different acoustic. I don't think those have solid tops, but to be fair, use whatever you got. You'll figure out a way. I played them. I don't really like them that much. But if you like them, make sure you like them. Play other guitars. Do A, B. I always say this. Like, sit down. You don't know if you like something unless you try something else. Because, like, when I was testing out guitars when I was younger, I was like 17. I would literally go to the guitar shop down the street from me, and I would go in and out, in and out, in and out. And they got to know me. They're like, oh, it's this kid again. And I just tried everything in the store. I wanted to decide what I liked and what I didn't like. And sure enough, like, I figured out, I was like, oh, I kind of like Les Pauls. These are kind of nice. I didn't like SGs, which is kind of funny. But I like Les Pauls. Flying V's. I didn't think I would like Flying V's. I played one and I actually really liked it. So, let's see here. But yeah, just make sure you like the Talman before you commit to that. I'm going to tell you that much. So, Cyrus says, Pat, I want to ask why you prefer Fender over Gibson. What is the reason? Oh, there's a lot of reasons. Okay, so product-wise, we can talk about that. But as far as the history, as far as the companies go, there's a lot of reasons I prefer Fender over Gibson. So Gibson has had a bad history since the 60s. Since, I would say, what they call the Norlin era, they haven't really been the best company. Now, I know you're probably thinking, who gives a shit about the company? What do they make good gear? Sure. The problem with Gibson is that they tend to do really shady things, and they're kind of I don't want to call them morally bankrupt, but they do things that I'm like, I don't agree with that. I'll give you an example. So, what was it? Let me get the decade right. Oh, I can't look it up because the internet's down, which is why we're on this. Okay, so sometime during what's called the Henry J period, which I think is from the late 80s to the 2020s, 2023 maybe, right around there, 2022. Henry J was the guy that bought Gibson from the Norlin Company, because it used to be run by a bunch of really cool people back in the day, back in the 50s and the 40s and the 60s. And then they sold it to the Norlin Company. The Norlin Company did a bunch of questionable stuff, made the quality go down, so people didn't like them as much. And then Henry J brought him back to life. And it was cool for a while. And then Henry J started doing things that were what the fuck are you doing? He's known as a gadget guy. So what he did is he started making the guitars a little bit different, and the quality control was not that good. One of the examples of them doing something differently and being kind of shady was there are the things called bumblebee capacitors. And what they do is they make the sound of the guitar a bit different. they're like what is called period correct. So it's like a vintage guitar. So if they're not using the same components as a vintage guitar, they have to remake them. So there are these parts on the guitar called bumblebee capacitors, and they're kind of expensive. They're like $200. Now normally they're like $1. They're like really cheap. So everybody was like, "Why are these so expensive?" And Henry J and Gibson were like, "Well, they're vintage. You know, they're pretty cool. They're supposed to be hand done. Blah blah blah." Right? So basically, in a nutshell, Henry J was charging hundreds of dollars for a product that was like normally $1-ish. So people were like really questioning that. Now, in his defense, it's a business. He can charge whatever he wants, right? Like nobody cares. Here's the problem. He wasn't selling what he said he was. The bumblebee capacitor was a sticker over an already produced component. Can you imagine? I want you to imagine for a second. You're buying milk at the store, right? You're going to the store, you buy milk, and it says on the front, whole milk. Cool. And then organic, whatever, grass-fed cows, whatever. And then you see a sticker come off. You just paid way, way too much. You peel the sticker off and it just says 1% milk. You'd be like, what the fuck is this? I just paid so much money. That's what happened. He was charging people for this part that was way more expensive when it was the same thing as everybody else. So naturally people got upset. So that's one example. Another example of them doing this kind of shit was back in 2015. It was Les Paul's like the what was it, like the 75th anniversary, the 100th anniversary, or something like that. It was a big anniversary. I can't remember which one it was, but they were releasing guitars, and they were supposed to be like special models. But they made them like really stupid and bad, and people did not like them. But the bad thing was there was no alternative. So for a whole year, they made them more expensive. They had a bunch of features nobody wanted, like robot tuners. They had the fretboard of the guitar was like really wide, but it was all of them. Not just, it was an option. It was all of them. 2015, you had to do this. That's all you get. So naturally, people were like, "What the hell is this shit? Why'd you make a guitar nobody wanted?" So people don't like them. They exist still. You can find them, but just he would do stuff like that. He would charge people more money for something people didn't want, and then he would either lie about it or he would be like, "Hey, tough shit." So the Henry J era was kind of weird. And now they have a new CEO for the past couple of years, but still, a lot of the older, people that worked there are still there, so it's like, eh. But apparently they're making stuff better, but that's just one big example of why I don't really support Gibson. That's why I don't like talking about them and all that stuff. Even though I like some of the guitars, it's a weird kind of experience. You know what I mean? So Fender, conversely, Fender's always been really upfront about stuff. They're really honest about things. Like, if something changes on a guitar, you can literally just look up the part. Like, part for part for part for part. So it's just like you pull it up, and you're like, okay, what is this? Made in Korea? Okay, cool. What is this? Made in America? Cool. What's this? Made in China? Cool. They don't hide stuff, typically. They tell you what you get. Now, they might be more expensive for some things than others, but again, you have a choice. You don't have to buy it. So people go, "Oh, but the custom shop stuff's so expensive." Yeah, don't buy it. Find a used one. I get it. They can charge whatever they want. Like I said, with Gibson, same rule applies. You can charge whatever you want. It's your business. But they don't lie about shit. That's why I like them. They just, "Hey, here's what you get." "Oh, you don't want it? Okay, cool. Someone else will buy it." So for the most part, they do that. And then go back to like the products. The products are pretty consistent. Are they the best? No, but they're very good. I mean, for every guitar they make, a grand majority of them are in excellent condition. They're excellently made. They are the biggest manufacturer of guitars in the world. They do amps, they do guitars, they do everything. So they do a bunch of stuff. So it's a big thing. It's a big thing with Fender. I really like them because they make good products and they don't do weird shit. So it's a big thing. Let's see here. Cyrus said, "True, like the Burst 1959 is so expensive." Well, that's because it's a vintage item. They're never going to make it again. They're only going to get more expensive. Like, the illusion that I make is that moon rocks, right? Like rocks from the moon. We're not getting any more of them, right? It's not happening. You'd have to go to the moon to get them. So whatever moon rocks we have on Earth, that's it. So those are expensive. Are they just rocks? Yeah, pretty much. But they're from the moon, so that's what makes it cool. The story, the history is what makes those important. They'll never happen again. So vintage Gibsons, vintage Fenders, that's why they're expensive. Not because they're like legendary quality or anything, it's just because it's historical, really. So that's a big thing. Connie says, what's your favorite song from your favorite band? I don't know. That's like too vague of a question, honestly. I get a lot of questions like that. A lot of like, what's my favorite thing? What's my favorite thing? If you got a different question, I'd love to answer it, but I don't know. Those are really tough to answer because I don't really have too many favorite things as far as music goes like that. So, Brett says, play your favorite song. Sure. You got Zeppelin again. Afternoon says, Pat, my band has our first gig coming up. Do you have any tips on not making fools of ourselves? I do have some tips. I have a question for you, though. Are you sure you're practiced all your songs? Are you sure you're, like, tight? Are you good? Are you, like, confident? Are you like, yeah, we got all of them? Because a lot of times with people's first shows, they do this thing where they go, I think we're good. And it's like, can you start from the first song to the last song and then have no problems? Like, can you do it without issue? Like, if I said right now, can you play the songs in order with no problems? Could you do it? So that's the question. So you answer that. Can you do it without problem? Yeah, so that's the question. All right. Any other questions? Anyone else? You guys got anything? You guys can ask me anything if you want to. Doesn't mean I'll have an answer for you, but I might have something. Let's see here. Cyrus says, Pat, why do you think Nevermind Records is more inspiring to future generation? Nevermind Records? You mean the Nevermind album? Is more inspiring to future generations than Use Your Illusion Records, even though their production is so crazy. I think Guns N' Roses just isn't as good of a band, flat out. And they also have tons of problems. They didn't write as good of music. Like, they wrote good songs for a lot of people, but I don't think that people like them as much. That's it. There's no other reason. People don't like them as much. Yeah, I love Slash. Slash is awesome. He's a cool dude. I love his music. He's great. He's a great guitar player. No problem with Slash, but just, you got to think how many people really actually like Guns N' Roses. Because I asked you a question: do you actually like Guns N' Roses, or do you just like some of their songs? Because, like, back to the whole Fender versus Gibson thing, or like guitar brands. There's more to a company than just the product. Like, Guns N' Roses might have wrote some good songs, but Axl Rose is a huge piece of shit. So, I mean, I don't really want to listen to their music because of him. So, that's just me personally. Yeah, he's a lunatic. Yeah. Well, to be fair too, like, being a good musician is not the whole story. Like, you'll get away with a lot more stuff, but you're not bulletproof. You know what I mean? You're not going to make everybody happy. So. Yeah, like I'm not gonna get mad at somebody for liking their music. But if somebody was like, yeah, no, Axl Rose is actually really a good guy. I'm like, says who? Rhett says, some of their songs only, even with my favorite band growing up, changed with time. Oh, dude, so many bands are like that. Dude, I used to be such a big Brand New fan, and then all that information came out about Jesse Lacey being like a scumbag. I don't listen to him anymore. It's just hard to. You know what I mean? Like, they still wrote great music, and I just don't listen to Brand New anymore. It's just weird. It's a weird experience. Yeah, it's hard having somebody make something that you like, and then you find out like there's so much information about them that you didn't know, and you're like, God damn. And the other thing too is, to be fair, some people make the excuse of like, well, hasn't he done enough to like be forgiven? And my question is like, what did he actually do? Because I've seen people talk about Jesse Lacey. For those of you who don't know, there were a couple women who pointed out that he was inappropriate with them when they were kids, when they were like 15 and 17 years old. And regardless of the evidence that people put forward out there on the internet, because a lot of people are like, no, it's fake. Some people are like, no, it's real. The fact of the matter is that after the accusations came out, Jesse Lacey, like a couple days later, was like, hey, everybody, I'm really sorry. I fucked up. I did a bunch of stupid things back in the day. And then just peaced out. And then, like, for 7 years, nobody heard from the band. And then they just started playing music again without any discussion. So, it would be different, in my opinion. It'd be different if he was like, yeah, I did some bad stuff. I've reached out to some people recently who made some accusations. I'm not going to say who, but I talked to them, and I wanted to let them know, like, I fucked up, and I'm really sorry, and I'm not that person anymore, and I want to make it right as best as I can, and I know I can't fix those things, but I want to make sure that you know that I wasn't in a good place, I made mistakes, or, you know, something like that. You know what I mean? Something more than, oops, sorry. You know what I mean? Because it's not like he acknowledged it. It's not like he brought it up. It's not like he reached out to the people. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Because I think people can apologize for things. People can say they're sorry. Whether you accept it or not is a different experience. But the way I look at it is, you can't accept an apology for somebody else. Like, if those girls are like, no, I'm still fucked up about that and I'm really upset, and seeing you guys like on tour every year is like ridiculous. That's different than them going, I'm sorry to that person. Does that make sense? If you hit somebody with a car and you apologize to the fan base and not the person you hit with their car, it's like, what is the point of this? Who are you apologizing to? And then the fan base who is accepting the apology, it's like, he's not sorry to them. He's talking to you because you're the guys who pay his bills. Does that make sense? So it's weird. So back to the whole Guns N' Roses thing. Like, you got Axl, who's done so many things that are terrible. Not nearly that bad, in my opinion, but still very bad. But again, he's just like, I don't give a shit. And you're just like, okay. So, I mean, the other thing too is getting called out. Yeah, people are gonna react differently. But again, who's he apologizing to? That's what I paid attention to. He didn't say, I'm a piece of shit, I did bad things, I'm sorry to those people. You know what I mean? He just said sorry. He basically was like, sorry to the fans. Sorry, everybody, you like a loser. So, it's not a great experience. But, like, again, it's people can make mistakes. Like, I'm trying to think of an artist or somebody that did something really bad, and I was like, all right, what are you going to do about it? But I can't think of any, honestly. But yeah, that's the whole understanding I have about musicians, or just people in general, you know. Oh, you know what? I can think of one, actually. Not a musician, but a person I know. I know somebody who did something really stupid, and he did apologize. Now, the person he did it to didn't accept it, but at least he reached out to that person. You know what I mean? He was violent towards them. He attacked them when he was drunk. And it's like, okay. Like, all right. He's like, I'm not mad at you anymore. I don't want to be your friend anymore. but I understand you feel bad about it, so cool. But what's funny about it is that the guy who apologized was like confused. He's like, you should forgive me. And he's like, I don't have to fucking forgive you. And then it was like, oh, okay, here we go again. It was really funny. So he accepted the apology, but he didn't want to be their friend. And he was like, I want you to be my friend. So, anyways, I'm not going to say who it was, but yeah, that's how that goes. Red says he was sorry to the impact on his image and his bank account. Yeah, pretty much. Not true accountability. Well, that's the thing, too. Like, what if he donated all of his money? You know? Does that make it go away? No, of course not. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy how that goes. So, hello. Eli says, what's the weirdest guitar you've ever played? Ooh, I have a great answer to that. I played 2 guitars that I thought were super weird, but it turned out they were actually pretty good. One guitar was the Reverse Flying V. If you've never seen it, I can't pull it up because my internet's down, which is why I'm on mobile. But there was this guitar that, it's, you know what a Flying V is. It's the one that, you know, looks like this. Flying V. And the Reverse Flying V is, the neck isn't here, it's here. So I know that looks really funny, but I don't have a pencil. Oh, I could get MS Paint. Let me get MS Paint real quick. Oh, you know what? It doesn't matter. What am I doing? You guys get it. So anyways, Flying V, reversed. And I played it, and the guy who was telling me about it, he was like, dude, you could sit down with it now. And I was like, and I looked at it, and like, yeah, you could sit down with it, because there's a big leg sticking out, and you could kind of go like this. And I was like, oh my god, you can! It was actually not so bad. So even though it's ugly as hell, in the most hideous guitar I've ever seen, the Reverse Flying V, pretty good. There was another guitar, which was the Gibson Moderne, which is like half of a Flying V. Again, weird. I don't know why a Flying V is involved twice, but yeah, the Gibson Moderne, if you spell it, it's M-O-D-E-R-N-E. So it's spelled modern with an E on the end. So Gibson Moderne. Another really bizarre guitar, but was comfortable. It was fine. Like, it was ugly as hell. Like, it was sinfully ugly. Like, diabolically ugly. But it played fine. So if anybody played that, I'd be like, I get it. But yeah, the Gibson Moderne, and then both of them Gibsons, actually. And the Gibson Reverse Flying V. So if you can find those, go grab it. Let's see here. Fishing says, what's the story behind the name of your band? That's a long one. There's a couple of different reasons. Originally, if you don't know my band name, it's Finals. I'm wearing the t-shirt. Finals, I used to be in a band called Armistice, which is like ceasefire or peace. And it's because my favorite band's Nirvana. My friend Steve, who I played music with, his favorite band was Sublime. And so I thought, what's another kind of synonym for both those bands? So, like, one's like a peaceful state, the other one's a peaceful state, Sublime. So we thought Armistice made sense. So we thought Armistice was good. And then our dumbass drummer at the time, I'll never forget this because I always hold it against him. But he's like, no, we can't be called Armistice. There's a band in Oklahoma with like 7 followers on Facebook they're called Armistice. We can't do that. And I was like, dude, who gives a shit? Like, you know how many other bands are out there with the same name? It doesn't matter who got it first. It's who gets signed to a major label first. Like, who actually owns it. And I'll give you an example. My friend who he used to work with, he had a band called Future. And there's a rapper named Future. They'd been together on a label for like 10 years. The rapper Future showed up, and like, he was enormous. And they sent him a cease and desist, like, hey, we'll take you to court. And he was like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I have tons of money. You guys have jack shit. So he got to keep the name. So, shout out to my friend Gordon. I'm sorry about that, but yeah, that's how it goes, man. But anyways, so I made a compromise with my drummer, and I said, yo, if you really don't want us to be called Armistice, what if we were the last Armistice band, right? So we changed our name from Armistice to Last Armistice, which is a terrible name. I hated it because it was Last Armistice. There was like a lot of sounds. It's like it wasn't very good and very annoying. So anyways, after that band broke up, I actually started to kind of like the idea of a last rock band. And then like whenever somebody makes music, they'll have they'll be like, this is the final version, final 2, final 3, final 2, 3 mix, hard mix. So like there's a bunch of different reasons I picked final. And then I thought, well, maybe this won't be the last I do. Maybe we'll just do finals. So there's a couple different reasons. So the last thing, the fact that people, when they talk about something, they'd like to give it like a finality to it. But really, it's almost never the last thing. What you think is going to be the last thing might never be the last thing. So I thought finals was a cool name. So I just kept that. Let's see. Stephen says, what is the airspeed of a... Oh, good, a joke. Grat says, play Come As You Are. Sure, man. I got you. As you are, as you were, as I want you to be, as a friend, as I know, man, There you go. Any other questions? Anything else you guys want to know? Let me know. We're kind of having a low budget show today just because so many people like watching it, and I can't always play the show with my internet out. So my internet went out. So I was like, all right, I'll just plug my phone in and we'll just do it the best we can. Grat says, do you feel about... You guys got to read your questions before you type them. How do I feel about Ozzy Osbourne dying? I don't think anybody's happy about that. Because he was a problematic dude, but he wrote some incredible music. I mean, that's a good example of a guy that gets a little bit of redemption. He was a crazy drugged out dude for a long time. And then he never really wanted to hurt people, as far as I know. He just made a lot of mistakes. And he wrote some really great music with people that also wanted to make some great music. Now, I don't know what his relationship was with his guitar player, Tony Iommi, but I do know that they made some incredible music for people that inspired more and more musicians to keep going. And when he passed away, I think everybody was like, shit, man, we're really never going to see Black Sabbath ever again. Because to be fair, they did so many times. The final, remember I said with finals? The end, the last tour, the last tour. You never know when it's actually going to be the end. So whenever Black Sabbath or Ozzy would go on tour or something, people were like, this might be it. This might be the last one. And then, what's fucked up? This is on stream. There's video of me saying this. I was like, they always say that. I'll get the next one. And then he died, and I went, oh! So, I feel bad about it, but it happens. Steven says, if you were to go out to a restaurant, what is your favorite kind of food? Italian, Thai, and what do you order? Oh, there's so many different foods I enjoy. Because I usually don't answer the favorite questions, because I really don't have a lot of favorites. But as far as food goes, I think there is a definitive answer. I really enjoy seafood. Crab legs, shrimp, salmon, smoked salmon, sushi, if it's in the ocean for long enough, I will eat it. Like if you throw a beach ball out there for long enough, I'll just eat the beach ball, dude. I love seafood. It's just incredible. So like if there's shrimp fettuccine alfredo, crab legs, like I said before, that's another great one. Smoked salmon, I buy that almost every time I go to the grocery store. Almost every time. I love it. There's a lot of Asian foods that have a lot of like seafoods in it, so I really like those. But you know what I mean? Like I don't eat that all the time. I'll have chicken thighs. You know what I mean? I'll have chicken thighs at least once or twice a week. So just eat whatever I can. Let's see here. Afternoon says, "What's your favorite Green Day song, Pat?" I think it's always gonna be Brain Stew, because I remember when I first heard that, I thought to myself like, "Holy shit, this is like revolutionary in my brain." Brain Stew is just so heavy and so interesting to me. The drums, the dynamics in it. Obviously, American Idiot is one of my favorite albums because I play a lot of stuff from American Idiot too. But yeah, Dookie and American Idiot, just great records. Really like them. And here's the other thing too. I don't like to mince words with like what my favorite things are. Like if it's the most popular song from them, like I'll say what my favorite is. Like "Smells Like Teen Spirit" from Nirvana, incredible song, one of my favorites of all time. I'm not the type of person to be like, or at least not anymore, because when I was a teenager, I kind of did that. Like, no, man, I'm too cool for that. Nowadays, I'm like, yeah, it's their most popular song. I like it. You know what I mean? Some bands, some songs, I'm like, no, they have better stuff that I listen to a lot more. But yeah, with my show, there's very few mysteries, I think. You can tell what my favorite songs are from certain bands. Like, there's very few mysteries as far as that goes. I will let you guys know if I really like a band. I just don't know how to play their songs. Because there's so many bands people ask me about. People ask me about Slipknot, System of a Down. People talk about, let's see. People used to ask me about Deftones all the time, and I added more songs to the show. I really love a lot of bands. Pearl Jam, I'm a huge Pearl Jam fan. I just don't know how to play a lot of their songs. But if I have at least one song from a band on my song list, I like them. I really enjoy them. So, let's see here. Afternoon says, "I like American Idiot." Right on, dude. Yeah, American Idiot's a great record. I think that, in my opinion, was their last great record. Catgirl says, "Are you working on making any more music?" I am. I am working on new music, but I'm not telling you guys when it's coming out. I'm not playing that game again. Last time I did that was a big mistake because you guys fucking annoyed the shit out of me for like 6 months trying to get me to record stuff, and then the album came out and no one listened to it. So I'm not doing that again. I'm just going to shadow drop it. I'm just going to drop it, and I'm going to be like, there you go, enjoy it. So, and the reason I'm kidding, like, people listen to it, but like, compared to how many people asked me to make the album versus listen to it, shameful. Shameful. The amount of people that asked me to make a new record was crazy. Crazy how people did that. And then I put it out, and then like not even an eighth of the people that asked about it went to go check it out. And you're probably thinking, no, I'm one of those people. Like, sure. But dude, so many people were asking me to release certain songs acoustically, and I did. And I have the numbers. I could prove it. More people, let me explain this. More people are subscribed to my gaming account, my YouTube gaming account, than listened to Featherweight when it came out. That's the numbers. They don't lie. Don't get mad at me. The numbers don't lie. Shows it. Ordinary says, "I bought the vinyl." No, you bought that album. You bought that album. I appreciate that. But I'm talking about Unplugged. So many people were yelling at me to release it. And when it came out, it was like this. Like, it was like, whoop. Just a little bit of a bump. It's like, okay. So, that's why I'm not going to do that again. Oh, it's crazy. Ghost says, "Is that an Epiphone?" I don't know. I think it is. The headstock looks kind of funny. But, I don't know. Let's see here. Let's see. Lithium says, "Hey, dude, I'm listening to the new album every day. Let me know what album to listen to." I mean, if you're listening to the new album, you're already doing it. You're already doing it. But the joke is that a lot of people asked me about it. So I'm joking about it, but like,
it felt like a lot more people asked me about it. And here's the other thing too. I'm not confused about it. I'm not like stupid. I understand that like people really wanted certain songs, and when they got released, that's all they wanted, which is like, hey, no big deal. But the amount of people, and again, I paid attention. I know how many people asked me about stuff. The amount of people that asked me about something versus actually followed up, usually it's about 20%. You know what I mean? Usually it's like, if you got 100 people that say they want something, when you actually release it, only about 20 people actually go check it out. You know, it's just how it works. It's easy to say yes. It's harder to actually buy something or give yourself some time. So I'm not stupid. But the fact that I had to like put it out there and people were asking about it constantly, because every time I was on here, it was like somebody would say, hey, when's the album coming out? Hey, when's it coming out? Hey, I really want to hear the new album. And then when it came out, again, just not a huge response. So I'm like, all right. But it's not like the songs were bad recorded. Trust me. I know they're not recorded poorly. But the joke is that they wanted just those 2 songs, and then they got them. They already heard them for like 6 months on the show. So they weren't super excited to hear them because they weren't new anymore. So I'm not doing that again. So, yeah, we're not making that same mistake. Ordinary says, I bought the candle too. Oh, right on. You're one of the only people that bought that. Thank you. Is Candle in the Dark staying on your YouTube live stream playlist? Yeah, it's going to stay. The reason that's going to stay is because, 1, it's very easy to play. 2, I mean, I've memorized that. It's been up there for years. Yeah, there's no reason for me to take that off. The reason I took off some of the other songs is because people didn't request them that often. And I also noticed when I would play certain songs, people were like, this really doesn't sound like the other stuff. I think I'm going to stick to the other stuff. So you know what I mean? That's kind of how that goes. So like, if you have a product, if you have like ice cream flavor, right? Let's say we got ice cream flavors. There are some ones that are never going to go away. You know, strawberry, chocolate, mint chocolate chip. You got your, what did I say? Strawberry already. There's ones that are always going to be on there. But like, when people don't order something enough, it's like, well, I might as well try something new, you know? Like, if your favorite ice cream flavor is, you know, like, pumpkin, and you don't get pumpkin every time, and other people don't get pumpkin every time, it's going to go away. You got to, like, really support the stuff you love. Otherwise, it goes away. So, that's how it happens. Two Cat says, rip, I don't, and running the wrong way. Yeah, they just never got requested. To this day, running the wrong way only got requested twice. So I just never remembered how to play it. Because, like, it was new. I was like, okay, I guess people don't like this as much. So I took it off the show. Here's another thing. Blake, for example. Blake was one of the only persons that likes I Don't. And then I'm going to say something real, too. I appreciate it when people donate for other people. But in my opinion, if somebody doesn't like something enough to pay for it, and they ask for it constantly, that's like when people beg for songs. I don't like to play them for those people. Because it feels like they don't actually want to support the show. They just want people to do stuff for them. You know what I mean? So it does bother me when people do that. Even though I make, you know, more money doing that, I just wish people would want to support it. You know what I mean? It's like somebody waiting outside of a McDonald's asking every person walking by, hey, can you buy me food? They don't actually want to support the business. They just want food. They just want the song. And it's like, if that's the attitude, it's like, then just go listen to it. You'll get more enjoyment out of just listening to the song than you would bothering everybody in the chat asking for something. You know what I mean? Not that people do that a lot, but whenever I see people do that, I'm like, I don't want to do that. So, and before anybody complains and says like, well, maybe they don't have money or something like that, it's like, if $3 is too much, like, that's really rough. If you can't, like, $1 on the Patreon, whenever somebody says, I can't afford that, I'm like, no, you just don't want to. Like in a serious manner. It's okay if you don't want to. But if you're telling me you're so unable to pay $1 to something, it's like, you're not fooling me. I'm not stupid. You just don't want to pay for it. And that's okay. If you're like, nah, I'm not really trying to buy anything right now, cool. But if you say something like, I'm so broke right now. I can't. I'm like, I don't believe you. You know what I mean? It just it upsets me more that they're thinking I'll believe that. You know what I mean? It upsets me more that they think I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, times are tough. It's like it's tough for everybody, dude. Everybody's hurting right now. The economy sucks. If you can't afford to do it, I get it. Like I understand, but don't act like a dollar is going to absolutely like destroy your entire bank account. It's a dollar. In fact, it's actually worth less now. If you think about it. Like, can you imagine? Can you imagine that? Like, just say I don't really want to pay for that. I would respect that more than somebody trying to lie about it. You know, that always bothers me. And then what sucks about that too is that kind of peer pressures other people into paying it for them. Does that make sense? Like, just say I'm not trying to do that. It's like, okay, cool, no problem. You don't want to do it? You don't want to do it. You know what I mean? That makes sense. It makes sense. Ordinary says, how about $12 once a year and re-up yearly? That one-time payment would work for me. You can theoretically do that. I don't know how to set that up, but it happens. It's bizarre. But again, that's just like a pet peeve of mine, because it's like, I don't want people to peer pressure the audience into paying something for them. I want people to just enjoy the show. Like if they want, let me put it this way. I would rather somebody say, I'm just listening to the music. Cool. Than try to peer pressure the audience into paying something for them. Even though I make the money, I would rather people just enjoy the music and enjoy the experience for what it is. You know what I mean? If you're like looking over the fence at a concert and you're getting a free show, cool. You know what I mean? Like go for it. You don't get the bathrooms, you don't get the drink stands, you don't get the ability to get close to enjoy the show. Fine. But like don't stand outside the concert and be like, man, come on, I can't afford $1. It's like, don't do that. Come on. Just enjoy the music. Get what you want. Yeah, that's my interpretation of it. Because I've seen that so many times where people just beg in the chat. And I'm like, come on, man. Stop. Because now it becomes less of a concert, more like an auction, you know? It becomes like it becomes more like a carnival barker, you know? Step right up, don't be shy, who wants to give me $1? It's like, get out of here. Shut up, man. Just let people enjoy the music for free. Let me explain it that way. I'd rather people just enjoy it for free. So, and I know how that can sound, but when you see something over and over and over and over again, you start to see like, okay, you're just using that as an excuse. You're just lying. You're trying to get out of this conversation. So, it just seems kind of weird. And it's like, support it or don't. That's what I gotta say. You don't have to make it into something else. So, yeah, because can you imagine, like, how many times have you guys tried to do something in your life where you're like, hey guys, I'm doing like I'm doing an art exhibition. Do you guys want to go check it out? And somebody goes, I'd love to, but like, I'm busy that weekend. You know, just be like, nah, man, I'm not interested. Thank you though. Because like then they're just gonna ask you next time, hey man, you coming to my art exhibition? It's like if I know you're not interested, I'm not gonna ask. So I'm not gonna let you know what options you have. So, all right. Anyways, let's change subjects. I can tell everybody's like, oh, this guy's talking about money too much. But yeah, like I said, it's just an experience that I have over and over and over again. So positive or negative, if something happens a lot, and you notice that it's like there's like something weird to it, you're just not gonna like it as much. But speaking of stuff that we're doing a lot of, has everybody checked out the second channel? There's a second channel, play video games and stuff like that. We're getting closer. Actually, I don't know how many more days we have left of Fallout 3. Fallout 3 is crazy, so it's been really fun. Wait, what? The Pineapple says, play the beginning of Little Dreamer now! All right, whoa! Relax. All right, hold on. What is Little Dreamer? Who wrote that? I actually don't know who wrote that song. Who wrote that? Real says, Pat, do you have any Kurt guitars? No, he's left-handed. I'm right-handed. I can't play any of his guitars. That's a good one. What would you consider a Kurt guitar? What do you think is a Kurt guitar? Give me a name. Give me a name. What's a Kurt guitar? You meant replicas? Yeah, I know. What's a replica? What would be a replica to you? Like, would I have to get the exact year and the exact model? Would I have to get the exact specs? Could it be a little bit different? Could it be a lot different? Could it basically be not even the same thing? Yeah. Where do you draw the line? What do you mean Kurt replica? One that looks like his guitar? Which one? Is there a specific one? We're all going to find out together. Hold on. Let's see here. Afternoon says, I think it's no longer a replica after it looks like a completely different guitar that doesn't even look like it had anything to do with Kurt. That would make sense. Cause like let me put it this way. If you bought a Strat with a humbucker in it, would that be a Kurt Cobain guitar? Would I have to put a sticker on it that says vandalism? Would that make it a replica? I know that there's a lot of people that like really try to emulate Kurt Cobain, and to be fair, I did that too when I was like 17 or 18. I was like, I gotta get the same pickups as Kurt Cobain because he wrote this song and I like it. And then I realized like he didn't even use those guitars on the recordings, so it's like what does it matter anymore? It's like, well, I like this, I like that, I like this, I like that. So yeah. See what I mean, though? It's like, I don't know. I don't think that counts. I think if you want a guitar and you think it's a replica of Kurt Cobain's or Jimmy Page, like, I'll give you an example. I like Led Zeppelin. Jimmy Page used a Les Paul Custom. This is nothing really like Jimmy Page's Les Paul Custom. His guitar was a 57, which had a big, huge baseball bat of a neck. It also had different pickups. It also had 3 instead of 2. So it's like, is this a replica? No. By any stretch of the imagination, no. But did I buy this because of Jimmy Page? Sort of. It was in my brain. I was like, oh, cool, I get to have one of these. That's Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin had a custom. Even though it's nothing really like it. This has a really tiny neck. Yeah, he had the big Bigsby on it. Yeah, see what I mean? Where do you draw the line? I think if you were asking me the question, did I buy any guitars specifically because I wanted to get something like Kurt, I guess you could say that. I'd never really tried Jaguars before, and I got interested in them because of Kurt. And I also tried Mustangs, but I didn't like Mustangs. There's just nothing about them. I didn't find any good ones. Didn't really enjoy them. And never really, I had 2. I bought one, sold it, bought one, sold it, and never got another one. But Jaguars, once I played the Kurt Cobain Signature Edition, I went, I really like this. But I really don't want his. Because what's going to happen is if the moment I got that, every time somebody saw me, they'd be like, Kurt Cobain! Kurt Cobain, Nirvana, Kurt Cobain! And I'd be like, ah, shit. I want people to kind of be aware of it, but I don't want it like tattooed on my face. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? So even though I have guitars that are inspired by Kurt, I wouldn't say they're replicas. So the short answer is no. The long answer is yes. Does that make sense? Mood says, hi, I was on your last stream and I just acting out TV girl quotes. What does that mean? You were like dancing or something? Were you making TikToks? Also, I listened to your music. Oh, cool. Did you like them? Hope you did. Afternoon says, I got interested in Les Paul Juniors from Green Day. There you go. That's a good way to put it. Blake says, I bought a cheap Strat because of Van Halen. It's respectable. To be fair, if you buy a Fender Strat, you're kind of not even doing it the way that he did. You know what I mean? You got to build yours. You got to make some parts caster for it to be really like Eddie Van Halen. And then it's just like, yeah. He had some pretty big hands too. I don't understand. Like, people think you can play like him off the jump. And it's like, some of the things he did you can only do with some big mitts. So, Les Paul too. Some of the things you can know. Yeah, it does matter. You can get a reach. Yeah. Paul Gilbert. You ever see Paul Gilbert's hands? He has like a 17 fret reach. It's crazy. Something like that. I can't remember what it is. 8 fret. He can reach like 8 frets. He can reach from here to like here. I can't do that. I can only go. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can only go 5 frets. That's like my max. See what I mean? Lemon says, "Do you use an amp or a DAW?" I used to use an amp. Now I just plug into a toaster. It sounds great. But yeah, right now I'm using an amp. So I'm just kidding. Tyler says, "Bro, what? He could reach 8 frets? That's insane." I think so. I mean, he's got some big, he's got some spider fingers, man. They're so long. It is impressive to see his reach. But then again, it's like, does that really matter? Not really. Like, you can hit certain chords, but you're not going to play like that. You know what I mean? I do like this amp, though. This is the clean. Can you believe that? Let's see. Beth says, "Can you give me a shout out?" No. Why do you guys do that? Can I tell you something real quick? I am more likely to be nice to you if you hang out in the chat and just talk to me than if you be immediate. Here's what you're doing. Hold on, let me show you what they're doing. Hold on, they're going like this. Give me this thing right now. Give me right now. That's your first impression. Like, oh, hi, what's going on? Give me this right now. Give it to me right now. Give it to me. You don't want to do that. No! Please give it to me. Come on, please! No. If you were just like, hey, what's going on, man? Oh, ask me anything? Cool. You know what I mean? Oh, I'll think of a song. I'll think of a question for you. Yeah, come on, man. Danny says, "What's up? First time being here a month or two. Oh, cool. I have an award for you. I'll give you a badge. Here, check this out. Hasn't shown up in 2 months award. There you go, dude. I'll give you another medal next time you do that. Let's see. Gilly says, "Hi, Pat. What's up, bud? Welcome back to the show." Danny says, "I'll wear it with honor." You know what's really funny is, I don't think anyone's going to remember you in 2 months either. So you could wear that, and then people are going to be like, "Who's this guy?" You'll be like, "Here's my badge." And they're going to go, "What is that badge? I don't know what that is." Yeah, because every time you show up, every day it's different people. So very few times people that disappear for months at a time do people get recognized. You know what I mean? Blake, you recognize that guy? Because Blake's here every day. Blake's here every day. I know Blake. Yeah. You recognize that guy? see, the people get recognized, the people that show up every day. If you have to announce you haven't been somewhere in a while and nobody knows who you are, it kind of doesn't make sense to do that. What's going on, everybody? It's me. Someone you don't recognize. It's you right now. Let's see here. Beth says, Thunderstruck. Would you like to hear Thunderstruck? Thunderstruck? I'll make you a deal. I will play Thunderstruck one-handed if you can convince everybody in the chat to say thunder. Thunder. Wow, 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 thunder. If you can convince everybody to do it, I'll do it. I'm not going to help you though. You got to talk to them. Let's put your social capabilities into play. Let's see. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got Beth asking for a song in the chat. Let's see how successful she is trying to get people to do something for the second time, actually third time on the show, just a different thing this time. All right, go. Let's see. Bethany says, "Say it." Ooh, real direct, real commanding. I don't know if she has a good rapport with anybody in the chat. Oh, we got Real Mayonnaise saying thunder. Apparently no spine in that guy's body. Not a single thing could stop that guy from doing something. Franco with some sort of cricket emoji. I like that joke. That's a good one. Two Cat, also no spine. Immediately doing what Bethany says. So far, just 2 people out of the, what do we got? Double digits? We got nearly 20 people. Cat Girl with immediate turnover. Ladies and gentlemen, don't tell me what to do. Cat Girl letting the fangs come out. Bethany's going to have to try harder than that. What do we got next? Anybody else in the chat? Well, that's not going to be everybody. We got 2 people already fighting back. We'll see what happens next. Anybody else? Uh-oh. Okay, we got a change. Bethany says, please say it. We got some politeness creeping in after apparently being very rude. Afternoon with a question. Our first question. Why would I listen to Bethany? That's a great question. I think that needs to be answered. Afternoon Daydream. Figure out what's going on with that one. Seems like we got very little response. We got a trickling of people in the chat. No clue who's going to be up next. So far, nobody has repeated themselves either. One at a time. This show brought to you by Toyota. Toyota, go forward. Anyways, back to the game. So nobody in the chat, no movement. Bethany, quiet as a mouse. Will we see some thunder in the chat? We'll see. Bethany appealing to the question with nothing having to do with afternoon. Being completely selfish, saying, because I want to hear Thunderstruck. Ladies and gentlemen, if I had to take a guess at the age of this user, I would say single digits. With an IQ to match, but we won't know. Bethany now giving up on the audience, just saying thunder. Gra says, love you, Pat. Totally ignoring Bethany. Beautiful. I love it. Cat Girl with the question. Second question tonight. What were we supposed to do? I forgot. Well, it doesn't seem like it was that important anyways, apparently. Not many people are kind of paying attention to that. For a reminder, though. Real Mayonnaise taking back the thunder. A reverse thunder moment. Ladies and gentlemen, I've never seen this before. Never seen this before. Unbelievable turn of events. We've got a thunder reversal. That means we've got one less thunder. One less thunder in the chat. Lonely Tree says, hey Pat, how's it going tonight? We're doing good. There's some kid in the audience who wants me to play Thunderstruck one-handed. Was being kind of rude about it. Apparently their parents are not able to instill any kind of manners in their body. Pretty sure this kid is made of paint chips, possibly insulation. Not sure. But so far, they're not picking up on what's going down. Tyler saying, lighting the crickets. Tyler, another joke. Lonnie says, yeah, I saw that. Oh, acknowledging it, but not getting involved. Staying neutral. I like that. This show brought to you by Toyota. Moving forward. Thank you guys so much for watching. Afternoon says, Bethany, don't you have Legos to play with and orange juice to drink? Very specific, but you know what? That's a pretty damning insult. If somebody said that to me on the internet, I would probably be confused, but upset. Let's see here. Jonah, low-key, just got here. Low-key, not really applicable to what they said, but I guess it makes sense. I high-key think that doesn't make sense, but we'll allow it. Tyler's saying lightning and the cricket. Got it. Johnny's saying, hey, brother, what's going on there, man? We're narrating the chat right now. So far, no gains of traction. I don't think we're ever going to hear Thunderstruck in this show. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Without appealing to any human being, without being nice, except for the please earlier, Bethany has given up. Ladies and gentlemen, can we get some thumbs up in the chat? Watch this, Beth. This is how you get people to kind of do something together. Can we get some thumbs up in the chat to celebrate the giving up and the crushing of a young kid's spirit on the internet? Because that's what we do here. That's what we do here. We bully and mock people relentlessly until they give up. Back to you. Look at all that. Beth, you ever seen that before in your life? Oh, a turnover. A salty rematch. Bethany says, never mind, I want to keep doing it. Unbelievable. I've never seen something like this in the 2 years of streaming we've done on the show. Baby says, I remember seeing you like 8 months ago when you had around 6 viewers. Nice to see you're still going strong. We're doing a show. 6 viewers 8 months ago. This person's obviously lying. We've had many more than that. We've definitely had at least 7. No, my internet's down right now. We're kind of screwing around. Bethany now screaming at the audience, yelling at them to say it, but not appealing to anything that they would want. Once again, there's no incentive for them at all. It's just a kid yelling at them to say it. There's no appeal. There's no remorse. Just a cold call of say it in the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, watch this. Bethany, you're about to get sacked. Chat, can we get some no's? Can we get some no's? Let's get some no's in the chat. Let's get some uh-uhs. Let's get some uh-uhs. No. Maybe says, damn, Seven, sorry for being mistaken. I heal to this powerhouse of a content creator. That's okay. You'll get somewhere someday. Let's see. Gra saying, Beth, go to bed. Oh, David Chips with some thumbs downs. Afternoon saying, Bethany, I thought your bedtime was like 2 hours ago. Real Mayonnaise making the same joke. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a fumble, but it's been returned, picked back up. Bethany saying, hush. Now we know Bethany truly has no respect or good positive feelings towards the chat. This is purely some sort of tyrannical reign in the chat. We'll see what's going on. Beth says, no, I will not go to bed. Unbelievable. Baby says, need us to keep quiet so your parents don't come in because you're up so late. Unbelievable. Now the audience is... Oh, Bethany antagonizing the audience. Why won't you go to bed, little baby? The same insult right back at them. I don't know how effective that'll be. Not very creative. Afternoon saying, Beth, why don't you go watch your Coco Melon? Your mom turned it on downstairs for you. Unbelievable. Ordinary trying to take a more positive spin saying, Bethany, Can we make amends? Are we able to do it? That says, when will you stream again? Well, are you leaving? We'll see. Steve says, don't listen to them. Blake says, she turned on the Cocoa Melon for you. So me and her can hang out. Oh! Ladies and gentlemen, Blake! Going for your mom jokes. Some intimacy there. I've never seen something like that. Unbelievable. Steve says, we know the true Patrick Gnarly. Brought to you by Toyota. Moving forward. I need to get some headphones on. Hold on. This makes more sense. Hold on. Let's get some headphones. Ladies and gentlemen, the show is turning against Bethany. Whatever mileage she had is slowly dwindling. I'm not sure how she's going to recover from this. Chat, should we try to figure this out? Beth says, until I hear Thunderstruck. Man, those commas are still getting better and better. Steve says, Bethany, later. Oof. Man, I don't know how you're going to come back from that. Anything that she had gained originally, being neutral at the chat, has completely fallen apart. I don't know what's going to happen. Blake, we're going to go to our respondent in the audience. Blake, what do you think Bethany has to do to get back the audience's the audience's favor? What do you think is going to happen? Blake's saying, good luck, Bethany, with a peace sign. Oh, man. Ordinary, taking the adult way. Bethany, just apologize and say that you understand the chat's limitations. Uh-oh, Ordinary, saying the chat's limited. I don't know if that's going to help. Grass says, listen to it elsewhere because here is not the place. Oh! More people saying to leave. Unbelievable. I don't know how this is going to happen. Blake, is there any advice you can give? Ordinary, trying to be somebody with at least some semblance of respect for the audience and for them. I don't know what's going to happen, but Blake, let me know. Bambi says, Ordinary, a mother figure for the rebellious Beth. I think I see that too. Beth sounding like Barack Obama. Please. Let me hear. Thunderstruck. Interesting. Afternoon saying, Bethany, I don't think Angus Young would like little children listening to music. I'm going to go with a disagreement on there, Anthony. Oh, I'm sorry, Afternoon. I said Anthony. Afternoon. I think that Angus Young really enjoys when everybody listens to their music. But we'll see. Bethany, just saying please over and over again. Blake with our correspondent Blake in the field. Blake says, maybe just kind of take the loss. I don't think the chat is in their flavor, to be honest. Ooh, no advice, just saying roll over and die. Unbelievable. Ordinary says, at the same time, I am trying to train my Siberian Husky. Equally unsuccessful. Well, chat, I'll leave it up to you. I think we got multiple options here. I think what we can do is we can either do something else or really figure out what we can do to appease everybody. Baby says, hello, America. Hello, America. Your former president, Barack Obama. I'm going to take the headphones off. All right. I think we're going to fix this. Beth, here's what you got to do. Let me teach you something. Let me teach you how to do something for the audience. Chat, let me ask you a question. What would you like in return for hearing Thunderstruck? What would you like? Because I might do something for you. You do something for me, I'll do something for you. Does that sound fair? Beth, if you want people to do something for you, you gotta appeal for something they want. Does that make sense? What do you guys want? Beth say, just play on your guitar. All right. Catgirl says, final song. All right, so Catgirl wants to hear some music from my band. Finals. This show brought to you by Finals. Moving backward. Let's see here. Bambi says, you have to purposely play it as bad as possible. We might be getting there. Roscoe says, give me 25,000. All right. Lonely says, I say Nowhere Man. Afternoon says, finals is the only right option. Steve-O saying, I'd like featherweight if you're given to Thunderstruck. Ooh, that's a good way to put it. Ooh, that hit me right in the heart. If you give in. Ooh. Steve-O. The man. Steve was like, hey, man, if you're going to give in to that, like, I better get something I actually want to listen to. Chat. Franco says, a Toyota. Brought to you by Toyota. Chat, I'll give you an option. How about this? If we can get Beth to apologize to everybody in the chat, I'll play some featherweight for you. And if Beth makes it to the end of the song, should we do Thunderstruck one-handed? What do you think? Should we do it? Should we do it? What do you think? Steve-O says, you better apologize. Real says, Beth, you need to apologize. Franco says, Beth, take the deal! Sponsored by tequila. Sponsored by 1800 Tequila. Afternoon says, Beth has been very mean and she needs to learn you need to use your manners to get what you want. Carlos says, hello. No. Beth has moved on, saying, can you play anything from Green Day? Ladies and gentlemen, Beth is not going to apologize to the chat. She is completely ignoring the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, Afternoon taking the deal. Ooh, selling out the chat. Ooh, I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. All right, here's the deal. I'm going to give you one chance. Last chance. I'm going to play featherweight. And if we don't get a nice, sincere apology, because remember, you came in here and you're like, I want this, I want that, I want this. Why don't you be nice to the people out there? Let's see. Beth says, sorry, I'm sorry, dummy, everybody. Oof. Sounds like you're insulting the chat. With the sorry. Well, I don't know what the dummy's there for. But I'll tell you what, we're going to play a song real quick. We're going to play a song real quick called Featherweight. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Ladies and gentlemen, I have news. The internet is back. So, here's what we're going to do. Beth, it was fun while it lasted, but I got better things to do. So here's what we're going to do. Steve-O, thank you for the $2. I appreciate it. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to play Featherweight real quick for you right now. And then, if you're not subscribed, we're going to come back and I promise I will play Thunderstruck one-handed before I go. Is that cool? And then we're going to go back to my other computer and we're going to rock out under normal circumstances. Are you ready? All right, here we go. We're going to play a song called Featherweight. Hope you guys enjoy it. I'm going to play it on the electric. Just me, you, the guitar. That's it. No fancy camera angles, no nothing. We'll see if we can do it. All right. Here we go. Enjoy. I know you always spoke softly, and I know know I'll never act wrongly. And you know, remember these days. Yeah, I know exactly what is wrong. Tell you exactly what's wrong. Don't forget, don't forget, wait, that you wait. Don't forget, don't forget, wait, that you wait. See when we close, see when we lose, wait, that you wait. Don't forget, don't forget. And I know I love you so dearly. And I know I'll be taking you with me. Come on! know I mean it sincerely. And you know we'll get all those days. Yeah, and I know exactly what is wrong. Tell you exactly what's wrong. Don't forget, don't forget, wait, that you wait. Don't forget, don't forget, wait, that you wait. See when we close, see when we lose, wait, that you wait. Don't forget, don't forget. All right, everybody, that was Featherweight. If you guys enjoyed that song, it's a song from my band Finals. Go listen to it sometime. We usually play it acoustic, but my internet went out for a long time. It's back now, so we're going to switch to the other computer, and we're going to play some music for you. Are we forgetting anything? Were we supposed to do something? Riddy says, I didn't like that one. It sounded like yelling. Riddy, was there a song you wanted to hear instead? Well, it looks like we're going to be playing Thunderstruck, I guess without that annoying kid. Do you guys still want to hear Thunderstruck one-handed? You guys want to hear Thunderstruck one-handed? We can do it. I think it's legal to do on this guitar. I'm not sure, but you guys still want to hear it? Beth says, I'm back. Where did you go? You didn't want to hear that song? You didn't like it? All right, everybody. I think we got a very nice response, even though Beth didn't hear the song and left. I think we can do it. You guys want to hear Thunderstruck one-handed? Shall we do it? Shall we do it? Let's see if we can take down this thing real quick. I think we can do it. All right, here we go. Ready? We're going to play Thunderstruck one-handed. Hope you guys enjoy. Oh wait, you thought I meant the other, you thought I meant this hand. Did you? I meant one hand. One, you know. Did you? It would have been really sick if I did the other hand, right? That would have been sick. I think it would have been really cool if I was just like. That would have been really awesome. Here we go! In the middle of the night, down! No help! No help from you! Thunder! Turn out the drums! What can I do? Thunder! There's no help! No help! No help from you! She was better than the name! Can I come again, please? Better, 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 better! You've been thunderstruck! 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 You've been thunderstruck! There you go, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to restart the live. My internet came back just a couple minutes ago. Yes, Timo, please like this channel, subscribe if you enjoyed it. We're going to come back in about 1 minute. I got to go switch to another computer, but I assure you, we'll be back for more music. Thank you so much. It'll change. I won't be using this dumb camera. Like I said, our internet went down, so it's one of those things where I had to use mobile internet. But guess what? We survived. Can we get some thumbs up in the chat? Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you. We're going to leave. We're going to come right back. Don't go anywhere. Subscribe to the live. I will see you guys soon. Thank you so much for being here. Good night. See you guys soon. Bye-bye. Oh, there we go.